And people talked then, in 1990, of a new world order. What they actually meant then was a new political order. And it's only now that we can begin to understand that the world order that globalization brings and what it's going to look like, it's driven forward now not just by the balance of military strength, the Cold War times, or ordinary political power. It's being driven forward by a seismic shift in economic power that we see around us. But what does the new world order mean for countries like ours who are looking to succeed? I suggest that the countries that are going to succeed are those that combine flexibility, free trade, open markets, with proper stewardship of the environment and investment in education, infrastructure and innovation. And the question for us is how we meet and master all these challenges to ensure that Britain enhances its competitiveness in the process and realises what I believe is our destiny of success in this new world order.
Thomas Jefferson himself, in his own memoirs, states quite openly, he said, when the people see a continuing agenda through different and changes in government, then they know in reality they're being run by a secret tyranny.
So, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, a new world is emerging. It is a new world order with significantly different and radically new challenges for the future. It is a new world order with significantly different and radically new challenges for the future.
And imposing its radical beliefs on people everywhere.
Radically new challenges.
By sacrificing human life to serve their radical visions.
Radically new challenges for the future.
A new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
By sacrificing human life to serve their radical visions.
Of the UN's founders.
Where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause.
Now here's the United Nations getting in on it, because they have to be in on it since they're the front for all the global elite. By the way, the United Nations, we don't get a vote to vote people into the United Nations, and yet they're always on about making every other country democratic. Think about it.
They want everyone to move from the rural areas in every country and move into these habitat areas, as they call them, human habitat areas. These artificial compounds, you might call them too, where they say in their own website, they say there'll be no private property. There will be no ownership of vehicles either, automobiles, public transportation only. And of course your life from birth to death will be watched and observed and regulated by experts, you see, NGO experts. And they have experts for everything. We're watching laws being implemented, the same laws on a national, international, regional, county, local level at the same time. Same laws passed across the world. What does that give you a clue as to what is happening?
The whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip. And you have nothing. You can't buy food. You can't do anything. It's total control of the people.
And that chip's connected to a database that has your purchasing records, what you do, what
everything,
you sell.
Everything is in there, you know? And so they want a one world government controlled by them, everybody being chipped, all your money in those chips, and they control the chips, and they control people, and you become a slave. You become a serf to these people. That's their goal. That's their intentions.
Doctors want to place a computer chip under your skin. Sound bizarre? It could save your life.
You're watching Fox 5 News at 10. What New Yorkers watch. Works for shopping. If some have their way, you'll be scanned too. Find out why. Coming up in just a few minutes.
It's hard to wrap your brain around all the technology available today.
Imagine having your entire medical history embedded under your skin. Sounds great, right? Well, you haven't heard the other side.
Dr. Steve Salvatore takes a look at the VeriChip.
There's a couple times I've been put in the hospital and I was unable to communicate that I was a diabetic and what medications I was on.
Molly Phillips hopes her worst nightmare never happens again. To make sure, she had a new device called the VeriChip, a computer chip about the size of a grain of rice placed under her skin.
The VeriChip is a device in which we have programmed into it a number, a regular serial number which is matched to a database, a secure, lockdown computer database.
That database contains Molly's entire medical record, everything from her diabetes to the exact dose and type of medication she's on. Hackensack University Medical Center is the first hospital in our area testing the new technology. Dr. Joseph Feldman, chairman of the ER, says the idea will save lives. Dennis Porterfield is having a chip implanted today. He has 3 stents in his heart and had part of his lung removed because of cancer.
Why are you having the chip placed today?
Well, I do a little traveling, and I'd like to be assured that no matter where I go, I'll be able to tell doctors what I've had or had done to me and what I'm taking for medicine, etc.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's it. So how did it go?
It's a piece of cake. There's virtually no pain.
The goal of the program is to be in every hospital nationwide. All patients would automatically get scanned to see if they have a VeriChip as soon as they get to the hospital. But there's a problem. Different companies are competing for the same market with slightly different technologies.
The big challenge is getting the medical profession in unison to use the same type of operating system, so that if my patient goes to Orlando, Florida, Disney World, and requires health care, that the device that they use in that ER is able to read the chip that we implanted here.
Critics say the VeriChip is the ultimate invasion of privacy. It's like Big Brother gone awry. But patients don't see it that way.
No one can go into your computer or your chip to find out your information. You have to have a code and a password.
For Dennis Porterfield, the decision was easy.
Safety thing, I think it's cheap prevention.
Dr. Steve Salvatore, Fox 5 News.
The microchip technology is moving like lightning, we're told. There are newer chips already available on the market that update your medical history. That's medical history. You can actually erase data from a chip and put new data down.
Hey, Mr. Lightyear. Never made a delivery to your home before.
I'm taking some personal days off, Ed.
Usually I gotta track you down in some toxic vortex, a cosmic battlefield. Retinal scan okay?
Ouch! What's that for?
DNA sample. New policy.
Non-violent offenders who don't even have to be behind bars. They could be closely tracked by a global positioning satellite that can spot them down to a few feet. Electronic boundaries like those we impose on pets could be set up for these inmates, and surgically implanted electrodes could even shock them until they return to where they're supposed to be.
One thing we could implant would be a subliminal implant. In other words, basically a message is being typed into the subconscious constantly. Do the right thing, do what's required of you, be a good citizen, don't disobey the law.
Something has to change, though. They have to find a better way to identify the bad guys, or the rest of us are going to stay home and watch the world go by on televisions. But we need some system for permanently identifying safe people. Most of us are never going to blow anything up, and there's got to be something better than one of these photo IDs. A tattoo somewhere, maybe. The Saudis used an American device to scan the eyes of travelers. I wouldn't mind having something planted permanently in my arm that would identify me. If we don't do something, people are going to stop flying. If they stop flying, and I don't go to the Giants games, it means the bastards have won.